What up, nation? Welcome to another edition of the WiseTake MLB DFS Wise stream. CK013 here. You can find me on Twitter at CK_013. And I, of course, am from the WiseTake Nation, which you can find on all the social media platforms listed above or directly at WiseTake.com. If you're looking to take your DFS game to the next level, we are a premium DFS content provider as well as a DFS community designed to help make you a better DFS player. Go check us out. The pass is available. If you're new to this channel, welcome. You come to the right place with some free DFS content Monday through Friday. Do me a favor, make sure you're subscribed, hit the notifications bell, don't miss out on any of the free content we do put out. Like the video, share the video, most importantly, leave some comments. I want to interact. We're a community, it's what we do here. Community typically involves interaction, right? So I want to hear your thoughts on the show, hear your thoughts on the slate, DFS philosophies. Let me hear it. I want to hear from y'all. And if I get some good comments, we'll talk about them and we'll review them on the show. So let's get it. We've had a few. All right, we've got a day slate. The main slate at WiseTake is going to be the only real slate we have for baseball, which is this early slate. So it's kind of cool. We'll be able to get it done early, get it out of the way, and then kind of focus on NBA for the night. It's actually a pretty good slate. I took a peek at it when I was updating the sheets and everything like that, and it's actually a pretty decent slate. I'm going to say that. I think it's 8 games. I haven't checked into weather, so we'll have to see whether or not that plays an impact. But anyway, Gerrit Cole's pitching against Houston, one of the better teams in the league, I guess. Houston, one of the tougher teams to strike out, and you can see they have a 19.6% slate low, 19.6% strikeout rate. But Gerrit Cole has looked really fucking good. He is at home in Yankee Stadium, so we have a small park. He gives up a lot of fly balls. Again, it's a tough team. I think that Gerrit Cole is probably going to be one of the most popular pitchers anyway because it's Gerrit fucking Cole, which is going to leave a lot of the Houston players low-owned. I don't know about a full-blown stack, but it's kind of interesting if you don't have a cold team to get some exposure to like the Jordan Alvarez's and the Bregmans, the guys that have some power. But realistically, Gerrit Cole is probably one of the more optimal ways you can go. 44.3% K rate this year. If we look at last season, 32.6. Even so, just phenomenal numbers. One thing about him though is he does give up hard contact and he gives up a lot of fly balls. But he's still Gerrit Cole, and he's the best pitcher on the slate, regardless of the outcome. Zach Wheeler. Zach Wheeler's strikeouts have been way down. Not this season. I'm looking at this season. Last season, I meant, right? This is last year. 2.92 ERA, 18.4% strikeout rate. It was really down. His contact metrics were really good. A 23% on contact rate, 55% ground ball rate. But the strikeouts kind of went away. This year, they've come back a little bit, 26.6. And he was never like a 30% guy, right? The hard contact rate and ground ball rate have both decreased a little. But we'll trade that fantasy-wise for the strikeout rate. And his xFIP and Sierra are very solid, below 4. I think he's definitely in play. The question is he cheap enough on FanDuel? You're saving enough money. Gerrit Cole's like 12-3 over there. On DraftKings, somewhat a $900 difference. Are we saving enough? Now, another one, while Gerrit Cole is against the team that strikes out the least, Wheeler will be playing one of the teams that strikes out the most in the Milwaukee Brewers, who are without Christian Yelich. So I think Wheeler's definitely in play. Definitely interesting. Brandon Woodruff. That's right. We got a lot of top pitchers today. A lot of top pitchers to get through. Woodruff. Solid. One of the best pitchers Milwaukee has in the rotation. On the other side of the Wheeler situation, Philly's very finicky with strikeouts. So they beat up on Peralta early, and they struck out like 8 times after that. To Peralta, before he came out. Peterson's had 2 like 8+ strikeout games against them. David Peterson, someone from the New York Mets. Granted, he's a lefty, but they're finicky. I think that Woodruff looks pretty on to what we're used to, from what we're accustomed to of himself. 30% K rate last year was at 31.1%. His xFIP and Sierra are solid, right? So I think that we're good to fire away on Woodruff as well. I think the question is, Do you think that, how well do you think Cole does? Because I do think Wheeler, Woodruff, and some of these, at least these 2 ace type pitchers can at least get you somewhere in the vicinity of what Garrett Cole could do. And on DraftKings, it comes down to, with Cole being at 10.5, you could probably find a way to play Cole with one of these guys. FanDuel is really where you make decisions because of the pricing, right? But those three pitchers definitely in play. I'm going to skip over this man, and we'll talk about him in the what to watch section. That is Mr. Danny Duffy. I'll go down to Eovaldi. Again, we're kind of talking about the things that stand out on the first look, and this one is one of them. Any pitcher against Detroit is going to stand out. Eovaldi's looked pretty solid this season. If we look at what he did last season, he's pretty much on point with it. 26% K rate is down this year to 22.4. But everything looks solid. Contact metrics look good, and he happens to play the Tigers, who have been one of the worst offenses in the game, and the only team on the slate that has been striking out more than the Brewers. So, 8,400 for Eovaldi on DraftKings, 86 on FanDuel. I think he'll be very popular for the people that want to save money, either as an SP2 on DraftKings or just the pay down option on FanDuel for the people that are trying to load up on bats. But Eovaldi certainly stands out against Detroit. But again, I anticipate him having relatively high ownership on each site. I got Hyunjin Ryu returning from the IL, playing an Oakland team that has been striking out to lefties. Right, I think they're beating up on one now. I don't know. Regardless, the A's are hit or miss, but I think Ryu is a good pitcher. We'll have to. I probably should have saved him for the things to watch, because we have some question marks. How long is he going to pitch? How bad was his injury? Blah, 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 blah. And realistically, I mean, he's 7'9", so he's probably something. See, offensively at 9'4", I just don't see why you would do it over those other guys. But on DraftKings, he's 7'9", so if you really want to get funky dirty, I understand why you might want to look. But I think Pineda is interesting to me. XFIP and Sierra under 4. Higher than his ERA in there. The BABIP tells you he's had luck on his side. But 25.2% K rate, playing a Ranger team that strikes out a lot. Right? Third highest strikeout rate on the slate right now is the Rangers. 7,500 as an SP2 on DraftKings. I think is in play for tournaments. 8.7 on FanDuel. Like I said, I'm finding a way to get a better pitcher. It's not happening, if you will. But I think Pineda stands out to me as the cheapest one that I'm kind of interested in. Now we're going to get into the top offenses. The Braves were the first offense. I'm going right to it. Mr. John Lester. Lester, I mean, his 2021 numbers aren't even worth looking at, because I think he's only pitched once. But last season, 5.16 ERA is terrible, but his 5.11 xFIP and 5.02 Sierra are also terrible. 15.8% strikeout rate, 36% hard contact rate, and he's playing one of the best offenses in the game. So yeah, to me, it sounds like the Braves are an optimal place to go. Very right-handed team, a lefty that sucks. Everything just lines up and makes sense. So yeah, the Braves, the Bravos, expect them to be one of the more popular offenses on the slate. I mean, they should be. I mean, I don't know. Either way, it's a good spot. I'm not here trying to predict ownership necessarily 100%, but I am telling you that would make sense for optimals. Twins against Jordan Lyles. Lyles currently has a 7.39 ERA, 5.3 xFIP, 4.83 Sierra. 40% on contact rate, 47% fly ball rate. The Twins screwed me pretty bad on Wednesday's slate, but here they are in another phenomenal spot. And I think they should be able to do some damage. A day game, right? So maybe we get some warmer weather. Don't quote me on that. I haven't checked the weather, like I said. But I think that the Twins against Jordan Lyles definitely stands out as an offense to gravitate to. Another popular offense I think we'll see is the Boston Red Sox at home against Mr. Spencer Turnbull. You know, at one time, I think it was 2019, Turnbull looked pretty decent. I don't know if he got hurt or what, but last year was nothing close to what he was, and mostly pitched as an opener. And this year, nothing special. His hard contact rate has been down, which was a trademark of his, but the strikeouts haven't been there at all. Either way, we have a small park. I think people will look to play Boston against Turnbull. Boston's actually been one of the hotter offenses in the game. Only a 334 WAR, but a 181 ISO. One of the better numbers that we have on this slate as a team. So shout out to Boston Red Sox for Boston. Shout out to them. Now we'll get into some offenses that I kind of liked that I think will be lower owned. One of them is the Nationals against Mr. Drew Smiley. Drew Smiley. Last season, looking at Mr. Smiley, 37.8% K rate. Numbers look good. He didn't pitch much, but the numbers were really good. The thing is, if you look at the Nationals, they just never really were a big strikeout team, right? And they're a team that can be very tough to lefties. I know they struggled a little bit against one of them. I think it's against Freed. They didn't look all that great, but I think they're going to hit Smiley. And I think that the Nationals are a team that'll be a little bit lower owned than those other offenses I named. Don't get me wrong, I really like those other offenses. Probably the Braves and Twins more so than the Red Sox. But I would put the Nats up there, somewhere in that ballpark. 54% fly ball rate so far, 39% hard contact rate. We like home runs. Nats against Smiley. Let's go. And maybe they will be popular. This one, though, I don't think it'll be popular. The Mets against John Gant. Number one, nobody's dying to play the Mets. They're one of the coldest offenses out there. They've been putting it together a little bit recently, but it's not like home run shit. It's like small ball shit. But as you can see, John Gant, 2.16 ERA looks good, but a 5.07 xFIP, 5.78 Sierra. Mets have been striking out a lot. Gant's not really getting the strikeout dirties going. He struggles with lefties. The Mets have a pretty good amount of lefties they can throw at him. Conforto, obviously Lindor. I don't know if you're worried about that. But they've got other guys. Dom Smith, they can throw some lefties out there. So I think that the Mets are definitely in play. Early day status. And we got to check weather because that could increase some of the atmospheres. You know what I'm saying? Hitting atmospheres type shit. You know what I mean? All right, we're going to move on to things to watch. Things to watch. Lance McCullers against the New York Yankees. McCullers has looked good at times. His numbers are kind of tough to read, really. 3.3 ERA, 4.16 xFIP, 4.19 Sierra. It's not great. 27.3% K rate, 213 BABIP, 53% ground ball rate. That's helpful. But a 35% hard contact rate. It's tough. I mean, he's going to see a right-handed heavy Yankee team. So we want to take that in consideration. But I'm curious to see how this goes. McCullers coming off a big game, I think, against the Rays, right? Yankees are not the Rays. They don't strike out as much. But they can strike out. And until recently, they were one of the coldest teams in the game. So I'm curious to see how that one goes. Danny Duffy. Does Danny Duffy continue to do what he's been doing? 0.6 ERA. Now it's 3.71 xFIP, 3.57 Sierra, significantly higher. But those numbers are still good numbers. Playing Cleveland. Cleveland's offense has sucked. They're still not like a major strikeout force, but they've sucked. And he's at home in one of the best pitching parks you can get in, dimensionally. He's 10-7 on FanDuel. I don't think anyone's going to play him. He's 8-8 on DraftKings. I don't know if anyone... I'm on DraftKings. Somebody's going to play him because you got to roster two pitchers. I don't think a ton of people will because of his price. So that's something to watch for me. Shit, I'm curious. I'm curious to see how that goes. Last thing I have here, Blue Jays against Mr. Mike Fiers. And I guess I could have included the Blue Jays in the top set, in like the more popular top offenses, whatever, but I don't think they'll be that popular because they're in Oakland. People hate, taking hitters in Oakland, including myself. But I think Mike Fiers is trash, garbage. However, we have seen him troll in the past, and the Blue Jays are one of those teams that they get trolled with they'll troll you with the best of them. So something else to watch. Toronto, Mike Fiers in Oakland's big ass park. Dong watch time. We're going to start things off here. Think about this. I'm going to go with a Met. We're going to go with Michael Conforto off John Gant. He's been heating up. I'm looking at a little bit of weather, just a little bit, and I'm seeing 14-mile-an-hour winds blowing out to right. Don't quote me on that because it's 10:44 the night before. I don't know if that's going to be consistent, but we're going to ride with it for now. Let's go with Ryan Zimmerman. How about that? I never like relying on a Ryan Zimmerman dong for anything, but if it's going to happen, it's probably against a lefty. So with Ryan Zimmerman from the Nationals, we're going to stay here in this game, and we're going to go with a Brave. I'm going to go with... I don't want to... So obviously I could say Kuna. I could say Ozuna. Go with Freddie. Go with Ozzy. But I think instead, we're going to go with Dansby Swanson. I want to say Austin Riley. We'll go with Dansby Swanson for now. We'll go with him. And that's going to do it for the Dog Watch. That's going to do it for today's edition of the WiseTake MLB Watch. Remember, the main slate is the early slate, 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern. So make sure you're ready. Get your squads built. Article and my article My core plays article on Paulie D's fast break sheet will be up at WiseTake.com in the morning. If you got to go and get yourself the recipe for success, the recipe to two dirties, if you will. Bake that shit. That's going to do it. Please hit the like button on your way out. I appreciate you, nation, as always. For myself, the entire WiseTake nation, as always, good luck.